spectacular spring day welcomes the Gibraltar Museum caving unit to the eastern cliffs of the Rock of Gibraltar, where a steep scramble up the grassy slopes offers a chance to visit Holy Boys Cave with senior researcher Tyson Lee Holmes and speleologist Ian Bonfigli. At an elevation of 300 metres above current sea level, the cave's mouth offers a spectacular view of the Mediterranean Sea.
We're here at the entrance to Holy Boys Cave, and Holy Boys Cave actually we can say, is a cave that really started what is now the Gibraltar Museum caving unit. It was around 5-6 years ago, and Frank Baglietto, Nicky Ferrari and myself came up to the east slope to do a recce, and we'd visited this location a few times, but we never realized there was an actual cave here. So we explored a bit as far as the equipment that we had at the time let us. Nicky Ferrari took a few pictures, and he had an acquaintance at the museum, Darren Farr. He showed the pictures to Darren Farr to see if we could find any further information on the cave. It'd been explored before. Darren then put Nick in contact with Stuart Finlayson, and through Stuart then the Gibraltar Museum caving unit was born. And since then we've come and explored the cave further, and we realised that the cave had previously been explored by George Palau, and the name of the cave was actually Holy Boys Cave.
Behind me we can see the mouth of Holy Boys Cave, where we can see a rather large fig tree. This is possibly Gibraltar's largest fig tree. We use fig trees as good indicators to actually find caves. We use them to try and pinpoint where there could be a potential cave, because they like to go right deep into caves to suck out the moisture from the ground. So there are lots of caves that we've been able to find because there's a fig tree at the mouth of them. You can see the trunk behind me going right down to the bottom of this chamber of the cave. But as we negotiate the cave, we'll actually find the roots of this same tree right down in the bottom chambers, sucking the moisture from the soil. We have two types of cave genesis here in Holy Boys Cave. This rather large chute that goes down at about 45-degree angle is a rather dry part of the cave. Despite recent rains, even the soil is pretty dry and dusty. Now this cave is formed by rather large blocks of rock falling off the cave, just collapsing into itself. And then we have, on to the left there, we have the solutional cave side, where you have water percolation. It is rather wet in there, and you do get a lot of cave formations like stalactites, stalagmites, a lot of flowstone as well. We're still at the entrance to Holy Boys Cave, and even though we can start to see cave formations here, we see quite a bit of greenery. Now this greenery is mosses that grow on the cave walls, because they still have natural sunlight hitting these cave walls.
After surveying the large open cave mouth, our intrepid team suit up as they prepare to delve deeper into the Holy Boys cave system.
Right, so we've just entered the solutional cave part of Holy Boys Cave, and here we can see some brown staining on the wall and on the ceiling of the cave. And that's actually urine marks from a bat colony. We know there was a bat colony here in the past. We haven't seen any yet, but there is evidence that we can still see. There's also on the ceiling of the cave some little black spots. Those are actually the pupae of bat flies. They're parasites that actually live off the bats. So in Holy Boys Cave we can see different types of cave formations. This is a flowstone here that we can see, and it literally looks like a petrified waterfall. How it shows you how the water's actually been flowing down and bringing all the calcite down with it. We're now getting closer to the bottom of the cave, of Holy Boy's Cave, and we've reached this chamber here where we can see an old pile of guano. This is bat guano, but we can tell it's not recent because it's quite degraded. You can't see the actual bits of the droppings and stuff. We've also got some staining on the ceiling here as well, which is urine staining, so that's where the bats would have been hanging. The bats most likely to have been inhabiting this cave would have been Schreiber's bats, Miniopterus schreibersi, which is the cave bat, or Myotis myotis, which is the greater mouse-eared bats, which unfortunately are locally extinct now.
Gibraltar's caves have served as a source of curiosity and adventure for the soldiers stationed here throughout the centuries. Many of them have left their signatures on the cave walls, a message from the past, leaving us speleologists to trace the history of the author.
We have many old graffitis in this cave, some dating back to 1801, but this one in particular over here next to me is dated the 6th of May 1888, and it records the visit by a man named Lascelles, and he was from the 9th Regiment of Foot. He inscribed it in this graffiti. We were actually able to take a photograph of this and contact the historians of the actual regiment, and we managed actually to find a picture of this same man, dating back to the 1880s. To give you a bit of the history of the cave and how it became known as the Holy Boy's Cave, this goes back to the 1600s when the 9th Regiment of Foot was actually formed. And that regiment was later known as the 9th or East Norfolk Regiment of Foot. It was known because the regimental badge for that regiment was actually of Britannia. Now, the regiment was actually involved during the Napoleonic Wars, and they were based in the Iberian Peninsula, very close to Gibraltar. And it was the Spanish and the Portuguese who had mistaken the badge of Britannia to be as the Virgin Mary, and that's how they became known as the Holy Boys, which names this cave.
So we are about 3/4 of the way down at Holy Boy's Cave. It's not really technically a very difficult cave, so you don't need any equipment like ropes or any abseiling equipment. But there is a tight squeeze to get to the bottom 2 chambers, which is difficult to negotiate. So we'll be doing this now one at a time, trying to help each other from each end to make it as easy as possible.
After negotiating a tight squeeze, the cave opens up into a series of larger chambers, filled with a variety of natural features including many stalactites, stalagmites, curtains and columns, all formed by rainwater gradually percolating through the porous limestone above and depositing layer upon layer of calcite over millennia. Most of these formations are coloured a reddish hue from the fine sediment found inside the cave. As Tyson and Ian reach the very bottom of Holy Boy's Cave, we come across something rather unexpected, considering we're so deep underground.
What really fascinates me about this particular cave is that we've now descended a good 100 meters since we came in through the entrance right at the top. Yet the roots from the large fig tree right at the top have made its way down to the very bottom of the cave here, where they're seeking moisture, and it is quite wet here, and they're actually feeding that plant from right down here.
The Holy Boy's fig tree has stood here clinging on to this remote part of the rock for possibly centuries, with its roots delving down deep into the cave system as it stands as a testament to the incredible ecosystem that these caves can sometimes support.